So good evening, properly, everybody. This time we are now we're now in the main broadcast. I can see Gary's here. Caroline's joined. Shout out again, Ollie, James, Jay, Sophia, Paul, Carly, Samantha, Liz. How are you doing? I missed you before, Liz. There, Andrea, Sam, Alison, Sarah Jane. All these people who are joining, guys. And if you're listening on the replay, Claire, Dean, Ashley is in the house. Come and join us next year, because if you watch on the replay, I'm not going to be doing another live broadcast until 2020. But this tonight, Mike Ellison Ahmad, who's just joined, is the last live broadcast for Acts on This TV of this decade. We've done 50 of them this year. We won't have one next month, but we do this every Monday night, 9 p.m. till 10 p.m. Playing out all kinds of stuff, inspirational stuff, motivational stuff that's going to help you get further in your acting career faster, behind the scenes of the podcast that I do for actsonthis.tv. Speaking of which, I'm going to be playing out a vlog tonight behind the scenes of this podcast that I just put up on actsonthis.tv today. It's a 2-hour phone-in podcast with head of Hollyoaks casting, Mr. Peter Hunt. He came around to my apartment last week. We spent 2 hours phoning Act On This members. If you're not a member of the website, come and join. Phoning members of the website up and basically making sure they were ready to crush it in 2020. Peter actually went through, I mean, it couldn't have been more straightforward. Went through the exact steps you would need to take as an actor if you didn't have any telly credits whatsoever. You wanted your first TV credit. He basically walks you through step by step exactly what you would have to do, what you would have to send him, what you would have to see from you, and how you would effectively get to audition for the show for, one of the day player roles, whether you were a copper, a paramedic, a doctor, any of those kind of, smaller roles. That I know will be a game changer for so many people. I know loads of people have been like trying their hardest this year to get like their foot on the ladder of TV, and I think it's like way simpler than you're all making it like out to yourselves. It's really, really straightforward. Peter just outlines exactly how you do that in that podcast, so you can watch the 1 hour and 50-minute video of it on the website there, actsonthis.tv, or indeed just listen to the audio underneath that. If you're not a member, you get a preview of it for 15 minutes there. But seriously, come and join the community. If you are not a member, you're missing out on so much content that could absolutely change the game in your career for you very, very quickly. So what I'm going to do tonight, we've got a few things going on. I'm going to play you, first of all, behind the scenes of that podcast. For those who don't know, I put a vlog out behind the scenes of each podcast every week for free on YouTube. It just shows you how we make these podcasts and, like behind the scenes of the production. And there's also like a little exclusive chat with the guest at the end of the vlog as well. That's something that's not even on the podcast. So I'll play you guys that now. Before I do that, if you've not claimed this yet, what have you been doing? This is the SMART Goals Guide that I created and we went over last week. If you're an actor and you really want to hit your goals in 2020, you know what? Not even if you're an actor, if you stumble across this broadcast and you're just a human being and you want to really enhance your life in 2020, download this guide. It's like a 12-page guide. It's pretty straightforward. Decent though, although you can't see it on camera, can you? It teaches you how to set goals properly, how to set them strategically in a way that you can, not only understand exactly, and get clear on what you want, but break your goals down into actionable steps, go after them strategically, monitor them, track them daily. It helps you set goals in a way that if you stick to this, makes it almost, I know this is a big statement, but I always say it makes it almost impossible not to hit your goals if you set them in alignment with this criteria. If you go to actonthis.tv/goals, you can download it for free, absolutely for free. There's literally no con attached to that. My gift to you for Christmas, actonthis.tv/goals. You just whack your email address in, and that PDF document will be in your email inbox in 20 seconds. So go and do that. Hello, Samantha Kate Willow. How are you doing? Let's have a look. Claire says, what's this? Has someone got a cold? Oh, here's Glyn Jelly. Oh, if you need your accounts doing, I'll give Glyn a little shout out on here because he's just done my accounts literally today. So Glyn is an incredible accountant, the best accountant I've ever worked with. Does both my company accounts for this business, but also my personal accounts as an actor. Cheaper than any other accountant I've been with, but like way, way better. The stuff he was showing me, how we track my accounts now is like insane. It's all done online. You send your receipts in digitally, all this kind of stuff. Get to the get actonthis.tv. I did, if you remember, you can listen to this right now. If you go into the search bar here and just type in Glyn, Look at this, Glyn. You're going to pop up now. Here he is, the lad. Simplifying Actors, Tax and Finance with top accountant Glyn Jelly. There's a podcast there that was probably getting on for 2 hours, Glyn, wasn't it? We did that earlier this year. If you want to get your finances straight in 2020, Glyn's your man. Not only will he save you money, it's all obviously by the book. It's all legitimate and legal. But there's a lot of stuff actors don't know they can be claiming. And they're also claiming for things they can't claim. They're also like wasting time trying to claim for stuff that they shouldn't even be claiming for. Glyn is your man. So yeah, cheers for watching, Glyn. He's in the house. Ian is here. How you doing? Hope you're good. Someone's not well, so it's a good excuse for a hot toddy, someone's saying, which is absolutely. It's a good excuse for a mulled wine as well. I had a load of Baileys yesterday, and I had a bit of a school reunion. I must have at least, well, not like it's almost like eating, isn't it, when you're having Baileys? But I must have had half a litre of Baileys yesterday. Right, okay. It's not a bad picture, that, Glyn. I photoshopped that of you. That was the best you're ever going to look. I'm joking, mate, obviously. Right, I'm going to play this vlog. So this is behind the scenes of the podcast I put out today with head of Hollyoaks casting, Peter Hunt. It's only 20 minutes long. I'm going to play this out. Then it's only take us to 9:30. Then I'm going to jump back on camera, and then we're going to chew the fat, basically review the year, review what we've done this year, and obviously look towards next year and the next decade, and how we can make that the best decade of your life. Kelly Hollis in the house. Hope you are well. And she said she'll be getting in touch with Glyn. There you go, Glyn. Got you a new client. He is the best, though, Kelly. No bullshit. The guy is super, super legit. Right, here's this vlog. I'll be back at 9:30. I can still see your comments, so please keep leaving your comments here. If you've never seen Peter Hunt for Hollyoaks, he's one of the most giving casting directors in the business. He really is. He's always on the lookout for new talent. And like I say, he gave me 2 hours of his time. You're going to see like 15 minutes of like behind the scenes of these phone calls we made. But he gave me 2 hours of his time. Actsonthis.tv if you want to listen and watch the full thing. But here's the vlog. Enjoy it. Like I say, I'll still see your comments, but I'll see you in 20 minutes. All right? See you in a sec.
So what do you think it is that actors do that's the most self-destructive thing? And how we can like stop that in 2020?
Welcome everybody to episode 67 of Watch Ross. It's the last vlog of the decade, and it's the one with the Hollyoaks casting director phoning. Yes, here we are folks, in the park, amongst the holly and the oaks. See what we did there? Shout out to Petch for the creative genius there, although he didn't believe me that I would find holly in the park. He wanted to go and buy some actually from Poundland and just plant it in the park somewhere. I didn't just find like good holly, Petch, I found perfect Christmas holly with red berries on. Beat that. We think that was an oak tree, by the way. We're not sure. Anyway, we're getting ready for not just the final podcast of this year, but the final podcast of this decade, folks, for members of Actsonthis.tv. If you're an actor, you're not a member of this website yet, seriously, you need to get it sorted, particularly for next year. You could have been involved with this podcast today if you were. We've got Mr. Peter Hunt, head of Hollyoaks casting, coming round to my kitchen. We're going to have a brew and a mulled wine, and we're going to be phoning members of Actsonthis.tv and answering their acting career questions, helping them not just have their best year ever in 2020, I want you to have the best decade ever for the next 10 years, and then 10 years after that. And just ultimately, we're going to be changing lives today, Petch. We're going to be making dreams come true on the phone. I don't know how. Maybe we'll get Peter to just like offer people jobs on the phone. I don't know. But honestly, if you are an actor, we've been telling you now for 67 vlogs to get involved with this community. I'm getting messages from actors every day who are listening to these podcasts, watching the videos we're putting out, and they're telling me how they're acting on the information within these features. That's why it's called Act on This. They're taking action, they're working hard, and they're signing with new agents, they're landing work on TV. Ultimately, like, you know, they're really progressing way further, way faster than they ever had before, because they're getting involved, you know, with what we're producing. So please, if you are an actor, give yourself the best gift you can give yourself this Christmas, and do get involved. Petchy's blowing into his hands. He looks freezing cold. Petch, we'll go back to the apartment, we'll get set up, Peter's on his way round, you're going to see a few clips of this podcast now. If you want to watch the whole thing and listen to the whole thing, get over to actsonthis.tv after this, but we will be back after a few clips for a final chat with Peter, some extra exclusive content for you guys. And yeah, the final, God, I can't believe it's the final episode of this decade. Without further ado, this is the Peter Hunt Podcast.
Peter Hunt, Hollyoaks casting extraordinaire. Welcome to my kitchen, my apartment. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Peter, this is like the third. Is this the third one we've done? Well, the third feature for actsonthis.tv we've done.
I think so.
We did a podcast where I came to Hollyoaks.
Yeah.
We did a live broadcast, which is still available on the website. Those who are watching on the website right now, actsonthis.tv, you'll still find that in the members area. And then this is going to be something completely different, mate.
I think that's because you wanted me in the room, because last time, do you remember we had to swap laptops like 5 seconds before?
We were literally going live. We were doing a live broadcast Q&A. And then, we set up, like, we did a tech test that was perfect though, didn't we?
I know, but I told you we don't do technology.
And then 5 seconds, probably 5 to 7, we'll be going live, bang on 7 o'clock. Yeah, your laptop died. And I was like, oh my God, what are we going to do? We pulled it together though.
Use the spare one, yeah.
We went live, bang on 7 o'clock. Had we not said anything, no one would have known.
I mean, story of my life, down to the wire.
Exactly.
We got it done.
I love it though, living on a knife edge. So fill us in on what's happened in the last year then over at Hollyoaks then, since we last did a feature.
I mean, it's been busy. Lots of new regulars, lots of guests. I think our show is probably busier than the other soaps, but that's not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. Lots of new talent coming through. So
awards as well.
This has been a year for awards.
Tell us what you've won. You've won some good stuff.
So we won Best Soap, Best
Just
Actor, Best Actor, and I'm trying to think what we've won. Broadcast Award for Best Continuing Drama. We've done quite well on the Digital Spy Reader Awards this year. So
they've only just come out, haven't they? I think. Because I saw those come out the other day. Who won Best Actor?
Greg Finnegan.
Nice.
For James. So, and then we are nominated for National Television Awards, because they've put a new category in for soap actors.
Oh, right. When's the NCAs?
January, end of Jan 28th.
Right. So if you're watching this when it goes out before January the 28th,
get your votes in for Hollyoaks. Get your votes in.
I mean, what we're going to talk about today and the advice you are going to give out, Peter, to the actors that we're going to call is going to be evergreen. But if you are watching before the 28th or whenever the voting period is still open, get bloody voting. Otherwise, he ain't ever seen you for a casting. Definitely. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. Okay. We're going to be phoning actors who are members of actsonthis.tv. I have a list of them here. They're programmed already into my phone. And we're going to be asking, they're going to be asking anything to do with their acting career, basically.
This is either a good idea or a really bad idea.
I never know how this is going to go. It's always interesting. But I thought, do you know what? This is the last podcast of this decade. This is the last vlog we're doing alongside the podcast.
Well, that makes it sound very important.
So, don't let us down, Peter. I mean, ultimately, it's all down to you. Yeah, before we do that, we're just going to talk just for a few minutes. With us, approaching the end of a decade, an awful lot has happened since 2010. When did you become casting director at Hollyoaks?
2015.
2015. So it's halfway through the last decade. So 5 years there. How have you seen just the industry in general change over the last decade? Because it has, so much has happened, with the introduction of pay-per-view services like Netflix, like Amazon, the amount of content that's being produced on those platforms. Actors are now self-taping. That wasn't a thing back in 2010. All this kind of stuff. Has it evolved for the better or for the worse?
A bit of both is probably the answer. As I said, when I started in casting in 2010. Doing little bits and pieces and assisting other casting directors, and then obviously took over doing bits on my own. But as I said, when I started self-tape, wasn't a thing.
No.
When I first started working with agents donkeys years ago, you used to have to send 10x8 pictures stapled to CVs in the post.
I did that. Honestly, there was something so satisfying about dropping your 25 A4 envelopes. And if you were rich, if you were a bit flush, actually I wasn't at drama school, but you'd spend the extra 25p per envelope, so it was card backed. So do not bend on it, otherwise your headshot would get there in a scrumpled heap. And there was something so satisfying. You'd write your letters, you'd attach your 10x8s that I'd go and get printed at Asda because they're at 80p each. And then when you drop them in the post box and you hear that as they all hit the bottom, and then you walk away. Did you ever do this, Petch? You walk away with this incredible optimism, like, oh my God, I'm going to be flooded with replies. 6 weeks later, nothing.
Self-tapes is definitely a new thing. Again, I'm still getting my head around that because not being very technical. When they come in on different formats, it can be quite difficult.
Right, okay.
Because some come in on WeTransfer, some on Vimeo, some are attached as files, some come on agent software. So there are lots of different versions, and it's trying to get your head around all of those different ones.
How many parts are you casting from self-tape? Do you ever cast any of the smaller roles just from a tape?
Very, very rarely. And it might potentially be if the director's already worked with the actor before.
Yep.
On something a couple of years ago, hasn't seen them recently, but would like to consider them for the role. But often, sometimes people are working or something like that. So we'd send them the role that they're being considered for and ask them to self-tape. So if the director's potentially already worked with them, maybe like that, but never really just off a tape.
But that'd be what, like the gateway to seeing them in person or something, you're just like, look, we're going to do first round on self-tapes.
And actually, I think that's probably what self-tape has done. It has allowed you to see more people than you might do. So we've just been working on another show for the past 12 months for a video on demand. Because you can't say which one it is.
Those companies.
Which, as you said, didn't exist a few years ago. So I think actually it is creating more work for actors. But as you said, sometimes you want to be able to see as many people as possible. And actually, if you've got 2 days in your diary to do sessions in London, but you would have liked to have seen more, actually maybe opening it out to more agencies and more actors is a way for you to consider more people and find people that you maybe wouldn't have had time to see. So I think it's a blessing and a curse because it's a lot of work. And I think actors do have to know how to self-tape now. It's got to be part of it, right?
It's a moment of truth. Pick up Elliot.
Hello.
Elliot, how are you, mate? It's Ross Grant from Act on This. I am here.
Hey, mate. How's it going?
I'm very, very well. I'm here with Peter Hunt, casting director of Hollyoaks. And also, we're going to talk as well, Peter, like other stuff as well. It's not just Hollyoaks. You do cast for live. Mm-hmm. But we're here for you, Elliot. It's Christmas and we want to make dreams come true. What can we do for you,
No
mate?
pressure.
Bloody hell. I didn't expect to get cold, to be honest.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm like Father Christmas, mate. I always deliver.
Well, the question I popped in was, sorry, just running to my van 1 sec.
You're running to your barn?
No.
Oh, your van?
My van, yeah.
Oh, right, I thought it says barn.
Barn, no. I thought you said bomb. I thought,
I've no idea what's going on. It's going really well.
Yeah, so the question I was asking is what is it about? So what do you think it is that actors do that's the most self-destructive thing? And how we can like stop that in 2020? That makes any sense?
Oh, does make sense. Yeah.
Like if that's like whether it's kind of like, for me, it'd be quite helpful to know like in the first hurdle, whether it's like getting good headshots, don't go cheaply on them, or your show reels, or, what is it that you think, God, they just literally self-destructing themselves from the get-go?
I think there's two things that I'd probably go for. And the one thing is, you've just mentioned headshots and show reels, is I get a lot of people that will send them to me, obviously, to be considered for work, but will also go, well, what do you think of my pictures? What do you think of my show reel? I don't know if they're right for me. I often think if actors are saying, do you think they're right for me? Probably deep down, you don't think they are.
Yeah.
And, should I take that scene out of my show reel? Well, if you're asking me that means you're not asking me about the other scenes in your show reel. There's one scene that you're asking me whether or not you should keep it in. So the answer is probably not. I think it's about being honest and looking at all of your materials, seeing yourself as a business and going, does that represent me? And seeing how you package yourself. I think the other thing is it's keeping positive, and I know that probably sounds really obvious, but often mentioning headshots and show reels, that can be an actor's excuse for why you're not getting work. The reality is it's just really tough out there, and there's a lot of people wanting to do it. And I think acting, as with any other business, what you need to do is just look out there and see what everybody else is doing, and really just try and sit down for a couple of hours on Sunday maybe and think, well, what can I do that's not too gimmicky that other people aren't doing? And often that is research, and in the detail of the emails that you're sending. I think we had a chat the other day and I'd said one thing that turns me off reading when people write is when it's just hire or to whom it may concern, or something like that. Because I go, well, if you've you've not taken the time to write to me individually, then, because it is busy with the emails coming in, why should I read it? Any other business would be the same. If you were trying to market something or a product, you'd want that to be specific. So I think better to write one really detailed letter a week than it is to do 5 generic copy and pastes. But I do think a positive attitude is a really big thing, and being who you are and not looking for reasons or things to blame why you're not getting work.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really interesting. Yeah, it's like you said. I listened to a podcast you guys were on before, and you were saying that I think people try and especially when they're starting off, to try and be everything. You know what I mean? Open their casting brief up as high as they can, but
just be honest about who you are and what you're doing, and that's what makes you interesting and unique. And again, I think I'd mentioned before, with gaps in CVs, I don't print CVs for my directors or producers, so nobody knows what you've done. It really is about what you've done or what you do in the room. So I think, again, with that confidence, you have to come in and go, you're not being judged on whether you went to RADA, you're not judged on whether or not you've had a TV job. It is about what you do in that room, and that is on you and how well you prepare and how you handle nerves and all of those sorts of things.
Elliot, let's just get a little bit specific on you, mate. I just want to give you as much value as possible. So where are you at in your career now, and what do you let's look at 2020, right? What do you want from the first 30 days of that year? Because I want people breaking their goals down into manageable, actionable steps. Ultimately, I think having a general goal, I think it's bullshit when people go, "Oh, next year I want to work more." Well, it's just a ridiculous goal. What do you actually want? So, where are you, mate? Have you in terms of your credits? How long are you in your career right now?
I started off in theatre, so I haven't got a TV credit yet. So that is what I'm going for. To get that day role, anything like that.
What are you casting wise? What kind of stuff can you do you bracket wise are you in? How old are you for a start?
I'm 28, but I look about 35 because I've been in the building game for 12 years.
I'm 38 and I look 21.
Do you know what? It's really interesting you say that. A lot of people would go, I'm 28 and I look 21. Actually, if you go, do you know what? I'm 28 but I look 35, and that's what I'm selling. You take ownership of that, and actually more people need to be truthful about what it is that they're selling. And you said that you work in the building game. Great. Well, instantly there's certain roles there that you go just based on profession alone. Why would we get somebody to come and play a builder when actually, if we had a director in the room and we went, this is an actor who is a builder, I really don't know who'd be better to play a role like this or something like that.
If the builder is coming in, you're in, mate, definitely. If Elliot wanted to come in as a paramedic or a doctor, or what are the other day player roles you cast in Hollyoaks regularly? How would he get into that, do you think?
I think it's about understanding.
I just wanted to ask a question about the casting process. Obviously, I've done a lot of research and everything, but because I haven't really got much experience, it's a bit difficult. So I was just wondering, when it comes down to the final people, let's say at the last audition or something, what makes one person stand up from the other person, aside from their acting abilities?
Oh, is there anything in the actor's control? Because sometimes this has just come down to looks and stuff, but what can they control in this situation?
Show us a little bit of who you are. Often, because obviously we've got two things. So we've got the regular stuff where we do screen tests, when it's normally between maybe the last 3 or 4 people, and then a decision's made almost immediately after the screen test. And that's whilst it's fresh in everyone's head as to how everyone's been as they've come in the room. And often our producers and directors get excited about personalities that don't feel apologetic. That's the worst thing, is when an actor comes in the room and they're almost apologetic for being there. They don't come in with people want you to do well. That's why you're in that room. And if you're getting to the stage you're meeting directors or producers, and you've got to take that opportunity and have that confidence that you're there and that you can do it. And I think it's about personality, the people that aren't afraid to come in and shake the director's hand or the producer's hand. I remember one of the best screen tests we did was someone coming in going, because we did it on set, went, it's nice in here, isn't it? I can move in here. And just having a bit of banter and a bit of fun. As you said, it's not about being overconfident, but the reality is when you get to a screen test stage, particularly for regulars, that is about, can you walk on set in front of a crew of people with producers watching your work live on a monitor and own that space and go, I'm confident I can walk onto a set and I can do this. And likewise, coming into a room, and it's not you said you hadn't done particularly much, you didn't feel like you'd done much. It's not disselling yourself. The reality is, if I've got your CV, I know you've probably not done very much, but sometimes I'll big an actor up and go, say all of their good qualities to a director or a producer, and then I'll come in and say, what have you been up to recently? And they're like, oh, I've not done very much. It's one of my first auditions. And you're like, dude, come on.
I've just picked you up.
Help me out here, because you're already coming up with reasons to not give you the job. You're disselling, or you're making the decision makers doubt your ability if you're already doubting yourself vocally. So I think it's how you use what you've got in a really positive way.
I'm good, thank you. How are you? Hi, Pete.
I'm good, Joe. You all right?
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah. I just want to know if I'm not sure if there is an answer to this, but I want to know how I can move up to the next level. So I've done loads of small parts over the years. I was filming Coronation Street this morning, which was very nice. But I want to do more. I want to be seen for regulars, and like a lot of other people. And I wondered if there's anything I could be doing to make that next step.
Boom! There you go. Here we are, rocking around the Christmas tree, Peter. We're purposely keeping a gap between us, not because we've fallen out during the podcast, just because we want to show off this lovely tree. We're just going to expand on something that was mentioned in the podcast there for a couple of minutes. If you want to watch the whole... That was an hour and 50 minutes, I think. Hour and 50 minutes of incredible advice.
That feels long.
It went fast, though, didn't it?
No, it did.
Super quick. Hour and 50 minutes. Go over to actonthis.tv. If you ain't got your membership yet, I don't know what you're doing. 2020, it's just not going to be the year it could be if you ain't going to get involved with this. So go and watch the whole thing, and that's on this.tv right now. But the thing that came up for me, in almost every phone call there, Peter, was people getting specific, not just a little bit specific about what you want, but crazy laser focus specific about what it is you want from your acting career and your life in 2020. And when you get that specific, you can then work backwards. So many people, after their first TV credit, and they weren't being specific about how they were going to do that. For those people who are watching right now and are after their first or even 10th credit, doesn't matter, just elaborate a little bit on that specificity. I've not briefed you on this mic, but you literally have to hold it on your chin, otherwise people can't hear you.
I think it would be about just admit who you are and use that and have that personality, I think, come across in your letter. I think they can sound too official or too just like job applications. So I think be specific about who you are and let's see some of your personality. And also, if you've had another career or skills, then why would you not use that? So, yeah.
Definitely. Just elaborate on that little bit about coppers and stuff.
Yeah, we had a couple of phone calls from people that were coppers and stuff like that, but weren't using that to go, hey, I know that you cast lots of copper roles. So I think those are kind of skills that you're going to have over other people. So use your everyday and experiences to write to people and say those sorts of things.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. Yeah. If you were a copper for 23 years, don't hide it. Don't say, I had another profession before I decided to be an actor. You can go on a set. Peter says that he casts coppers on what? How many times a month?
Yeah, at least once a month.
Yeah, at least once a month. You literally could go on a set and arrest somebody way better than I could, even though I've done it 10 times, because you did it for 23 years. I've been on a set and done it for even 10 times. Probably doesn't equate to even a day in a life of a copper. You've done it for 23 years. Tell people about that. So let's get specific in 2020 for what we want. Like I say, get over to actonthis.tv. Get your membership if you've not got one already. Listen to the full thing. Please reach out. Social media's up on screen right now. Reach out to me and Peter. Let us know you've listened. Let us know what your biggest takeaway was. Petch, why don't you come round for Christmas? Or can you get out of there? Let me move that. I'm going to move this. Oh, he can get round. Yes. Petch hasn't been on the vlog for a little while. Got any Christmas wishes for the viewers?
Have a good Christmas and make 2020 the best one yet.
Excellent. I just wanted to bring him around because he's the only one in Christmas attire. Now the tree is completely blocked. So, Peter, thank you so much. Once again, we're going to get him to the theatre now. We'll be back in January for another vlog. Don't know who's going to be on it yet, but you're going to want to watch it. And until then, guys, you know what time it is. If you remember the catchphrase? Bye for now. Oh, yeah. We didn't brief him enough. We've got to get Peter to the theatre. You know what time it is. In 3, 2, 1. Bye for now. Ooh, but it's not bye for now, because we've still got quite a lot of this live broadcast left. Nicoletta's just joined on Facebook and said, is this live now or is it old footage? It's absolutely live. What you just saw there was a bit of a vlog that I put out today over on YouTube. It was a behind-the-scenes look at this podcast that went up on... Oh, no, there's Glyn. It's not Glyn's podcast. He's just a great accountant. this podcast here, Peter Hunt, his podcast, head of Hollyoaks Casting, an hour and 50-minute phone-in we did where members of actsonthis.tv got phoned up by Peter. If you were a member or are a member, you could have been involved with that. And he was giving people advice on how they can have their best year in 2020, ultimately book more TV work if they're an actor, if they want to work in serial drama, particularly if you want to work in Corrie, Emmerdale, Hollyoaks, EastEnders, Casualty, Holby. This advice really, really applies to those kind of shows. And it's honestly, guys, seriously one of the most valuable podcasts I think I've recorded all year. We're really ending the year on a massive high with this one. The feedback I've had from people already on Twitter today, tweeting me and Peter, have been incredible. But we literally go through step by step within that podcast. You just saw a couple of bits of it there, but within that podcast, within the full 1 hour and 50-minute version, we go through step by step, past every single thing you would need to do. Ultimately, in order for Peter to see you for an audition, at least get a casting and get an opportunity to, to book a TV job with him. So do go check that out. Like I say, that's the last podcast of the decade. There's another 200 hours worth, though, over on actsonthis.tv. If you're seeing this for the first time and you don't even know what the site is, go check it out. Basically, every week I sit down with a famous actor, a writer, a director, a casting director, an agent, and we do exactly what you just saw there. We reverse engineer how you have success in this industry. So I'm going to check the comments, see what else is going on. Liz says it's live, but just watching a quick blog. Yes, we were, Liz, absolutely. So thank you for being here. It's Michael's birthday on Christmas Day. Michael, that's do you know what? I bet it's double-edged, that. I was going to say that's incredible, but do you get twice as many presents? Or were your parents like, yes, we don't have to do birthday and Christmas, we just have to do Christmas and a little bit, and it makes it seem like he's getting loads of presents, but really we're saving a bit of cash. James McDonald in the house, hope you're well. Ollie Hewitt's in as well, so Saffron Beck. In terms of and Valerie's here as well. In terms of the rest of this year, I'm going to give you guys permission, really. Normally, I'm really pushing people to go, no, come on, you've got to keep your focus, You definitely should go and get that goal guide. That's something we looked at last week. actsonthis.tv/goals. You can download this goal setting guide I created for 2020 that will change the way you attack your career in 2020. I know it will. It changed my life in 2014, that information I put in that book, completely free. I'm giving you a lot of permission to have some time off. I also think, Christmas week, spend a day setting your goals for 2020, but it's a bit like when you're working out in the gym. I've gone really, really hard this year in all areas of my life, more or less. And I am really looking forward to just having a couple of days where I don't do any work at all. I'm going to put a Christmas video out to everybody tomorrow. I'm going to get that scheduled up, though, after this broadcast, so it automatically goes that tomorrow. I'm going to go to the gym after this broadcast about 10:30 tonight. And then tomorrow, after I get my hair cut, probably about 2:00, I'm not even going to look at emails, really, or do any work for at least 2 or 3 days. It's a bit like when you go hard at the gym. You would think that the work is done in the gym, which it is, where you're tearing the muscle. Literally, you damage the muscle in the gym. But where it actually recovers and builds and gets stronger, it's in the rest days, isn't it? So I think, everybody, including myself, I'm giving myself some permission to just chill out a little bit and have a couple of days where I eat some Pringles and have some Baileys and don't think about anything to do with acting or anything to do with work or just anything at all. You all should do that as well. What do you want to do for the last? We've got 20 minutes basically. We'll call it a day at 10:00 as usual. But what do you want to do? I mean, I've got stuff I could kind of play. I've got other little clips of things we've done this year. Or should we just do a little Q&A? Was there anything that anyone seen that podcast or listened to the podcast with Peter today? Do you have any questions on your goals for 2020? Pointers that you would like on anything to do with your career? Has anyone had any castings this week, last minute jobs coming in before Christmas, early Christmas presents where people have actually booked jobs at the last minute? I don't think many people would have been auditioning today, but anything exciting happened this week? Samantha says she cannot wait to listen to that podcast. Honestly, Sam, it's like that one with Peter there is one of the best ones I've done all year because it was so specific. And he's a real man, proper man of his word. I kind of put these casting directors on the spot a little bit when they come and do podcasts, because sometimes I'll be like, right, if this person sends you their show reel now with this in the subject line, will you watch it? So we got Peter to watch a few people's show reels and stuff when he got back to work the next day and that sort of stuff. And that's one of the perks. If you remember actsonthis.tv and you get on a call like that, I will do everything that I can for you to get casting directors to see you. Made Daniel Edwards see Rich. Richard Hayler's not here tonight, but once he was on a live broadcast and he said if he flew over from Miami, because that's where he lives now, would Daniel Edwards, who cast Line of Duty, would he see him? So I went, Daniel, come on, man. He'll fly over from Miami. You've got to see him. And he did. So, you know, we can always put people a little bit on the spot on things like that. So come and get involved next year. You never know what's going to happen. Definitely. Valerie says she's going to check that podcast out for sure. You definitely should do. I said it before, but I'll say it again, says Carly. Peter actually reads your emails. So send. Yeah, no, definitely. And he gives his email address within that podcast as well. That's something that he gives out within the podcast, so you can get that from that podcast as well. Andrew's looking forward to listening to the podcast tomorrow. Get my 2020 inspiration fired, she says. Definitely. Gotta love Bailey, says Sarah Jane. You definitely do. Without a doubt. Yeah, and for those who were just listening to the audio there as well, by the way, if you're listening on the replay, or you are watching on the replay, shout out to you lot, obviously, as well. If it's the first time you've just stumbled across this, if you go over and you want to see behind the scenes of all the podcasts that I did this year, there's like another 65 episodes of behind the scenes vlogs over on youtube.com/watch Ross. So if you want to actually go and watch stuff rather than just listen to it, if you just listen to the replay of this, you can go and check out, and that's for everybody as well, you can go and check out all behind the scenes of every feature I've done this year in 2019 over on youtube.com/watch Ross. But you'll just see snippets of the podcast. The full podcast, obviously, are for members of actonthis.tv, and they're all over on the site in your members area right now. Do you have any goals for next year? Matthew, you know what? I sit down every year between Christmas and New Year and really get specific. So like last week, I don't know if you were on last week's broadcast, I took people through the strategy of setting 7 to 10 goals in all areas of your life, not all in the acting industry at all, but via this method that's in this ebook you can go and get for free from actonthis.tv/goals. And I do it in between Christmas and New Year, mate. So the answer to you right now, I have a few ideas of things in my head, but I've not, I've got to sit down and really, really concentrate. I've literally, like I said just before, I'm really looking forward to having a few days off where I can actually focus on myself. I feel like my output this year of vlog after vlog and podcast after podcast, like literally we'll record a podcast on a Tuesday. So that involves filming behind the scenes vlog, recording the podcast, and then obviously, setting up for that. There's a load of kit involved with that, getting the footage off the camera onto the computer, ready to edit it. The same with the audio. You've got to edit the audio separately, sync that up to the video. There's a load of technical stuff involved to actually get the audio from those microphones you see the guests talking into, me and the guests talking into, and actually then get that synced up to the audio that's filmed on the camera. I won't get too technical, but it doesn't sync simply because there's a different clock on the camera to the clock within the audio desk. So just getting it all to sync up so that it's actually in time takes a long time. So by the time I've edited everything, I'll get everything finished for a weekend, probably like, Sunday night. It goes out on the Monday. I have just enough time on the Monday to promote it. I do a live broadcast on a Monday night, and then we're back filming another one the Tuesday morning. So it's been like that for 50 weeks. And it's like, I haven't had time, Matthew, to think of anything really, to be honest, in terms of my own goals and aspirations for next year. Bar, I don't want to do as much. I've got to the point now where I can employ Petch, who's my cameraman, to do a bit more for me next year. So I won't have to edit the vlog. I have to edit currently everything and every piece of content that goes out on the website. Petch films it all. But I literally have to get all that content together and edit it to put it out. So for me, I want to look at how I can work more efficiently next year by delegating. Obviously, got to pay him. I've got to pay Petch a bit more and delegate some more stuff. So that's definitely something that I want to do, free up some more time to just sort of live, which would be nice. But if you want something, you want to build something big, you got to put the hours in. I've put probably about 33,600 hours into Acts on this year. In total, over the last decade, it's got to be knocking on the door of 40,000 hours. But that's why it's growing. You've got to put the hustle in now. Eat shit for 10 years so you can eat caviar for the rest of your life, mate. Let's all say we're proud of ourselves for this year, says Carly. Yeah, you know what? People who are like, if maybe you're like, oh, you know what? I don't feel like I'm any further along in December than I was in January. Sometimes you judge yourself too harshly. You don't want to give yourself credit for actually what has happened. Sometimes you've got to stop looking into the horizon, for the things that you want from the future. You've got to turn around and look back at what you have done. And I promise you, if you look back and you write down 10 things you're proud of this year, 10, they don't have to be big things. But you will find you will have achieved quite a lot over the last 12 months that you're not giving yourself credit for. A lot of actors can be massively harsh on themselves. Just human beings, but actors particularly when they're not working, or they didn't get that TV break this year or whatever, or they were that close. I was so close to changing my life this year with that job for Warner Brothers in Canada. So close, down to the last two. But I'm like, look, that's good. That's a good sign. Maybe next year, I'll be the one, But you can't be harsh on yourself and beat yourself up for stuff. And there are no losses. There's no losses, man. I was at a reunion last night with some school friends we'd not been together since 2003. We'd been together in small groups, but it was like 25 of us. And we were all together last night for the first time in like 16 years. And a few of our friends who would have been there in 2003, not two, one very recently actually passed away. And we're like, isn't it such a privilege just to be here? Like, don't judge yourself harshly if you ain't got where you want to get in your career this year. Like, as long as you woke up this morning with air in your nostrils above ground, today is a great day. Like, you've got a lot of time left on the clock. Please give yourself credit and enjoy the present, like literally the present moment. Like I'm determined, like I say, to just fully embrace Christmas and be present, because I have had a knack over the last few years of not being present, of focusing on what am I going to do first thing in the new year, the business acts on this, what am I doing, and I'm just, it was just lovely yesterday sitting with all my friends and not having a care in the world, really, just going, we're just going to sit and chat about what's happened over the last 17 years. So do that. Be kind to yourself, definitely. Carly just said there, we're also quick to criticize ourselves. We definitely are. Tips for switching off, says Ollie. Tips for oh mate, you know what? It's something that I've notoriously not been great at, to be honest. And I've had to kind of like fight myself to switch off. I think, you know what I find? Like, I find it very easy to switch off when I know I've given it my all, either that day or that week. I genuinely feel I'm going to finish this at 10 o'clock, Ollie. I'm going to process the replay of the video and upload that to YouTube. I won't publish it till tomorrow. Whilst that's uploading, I'll probably go downstairs to the gym. I'll do a workout, so I don't have to do it early tomorrow morning, because I want to meet my mates for breakfast. Again, two mates I've not seen all year, really, for breakfast at 9 a.m. So I don't normally go to the gym at 7. I don't want to rush it, though, so I'm going to go to the gym tonight. I'm going to jump into bed, and then I'm going to go and have breakfast with my mates. And I'll be able to do that fully switched off, because I know I've hammered it today, mate. I've put in so much today. I've got a video ready that I'm going to put out tomorrow, wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and kind of recapping on what's gone on this year. The email for that is already set. I just need to upload the video to Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and then just link to it within the email that's going to go out tomorrow. I published the vlog today. I published the podcast today. I've promoted the shit out of it all day. I've done this live broadcast. I'm like, I can be kind to myself, because I'm like, Ross, you know what? You've done, like, without killing yourself, you've done as much as you could possibly do. So I feel if it's harder for me to switch off if I don't feel I've hustled, if I don't feel I've put the work in, mate, I can't switch off, because I'm like, you don't deserve it. In a way, I'm quite harsh on myself sometimes. I need to be better at that, even, and just not judge myself, even if I've not put the work in that day or that week or whatever. So if you can, my advice would be for you to just do as much as you can tomorrow. If there's any loose ends you need to tie up, any emails you need to send, any bills you need to pay. I've done all that today as well. I paid my tax as well today. Just so you can kind of tie up all those loose ends. And then you almost feel you deserve that box of Pringles and the Baileys tomorrow night, mate. So just if you want to switch off, just hustle tomorrow. Hustle at least at lunchtime. Get up early as well. Don't lie in bed just because it's Christmas Eve. Don't lie in bed. You'll feel like shit. Just because you can, don't do it. Even on a weekend, just because you can, unless you're really, really tired, don't do it, because you'll just feel bad for waking up late, and then you'll kind of like feel you've wasted part of the day. You'll berate yourself for 2 hours. You waste another 2 hours because you're just sad. Basically just get up and get shit done. That's my advice. Meditation, says Gary. I've never been a decent meditator, Gary. There's some active meditation that I've been doing recently. And active meditation is where you are allowed to think of stuff. So normal meditations are kind of like, where you clear your mind, you don't think of anything, There's a guy called Vishen Lakiani who does a 6-phase meditation. And it's an active meditation where he actually wants you to think of all these things, visualization and things that you want and things you're going to do for the day and setting your intention. I get along with that. Equally, my meditation is really just working out and running. I quite like the time on my own that I spend in the gym or just, pounding the road. I sent 3 emails to casting directors this week, says Valerie, and you were right. They came back. One in particular will be in touch and look out for me. Oh, there you go, Valerie. You just got to do it. That's what I want everyone to do next year. Everyone, honestly, 2020, I always say, don't ask for what you want. So many. And sometimes I include myself in this. We're not asking for enough, or we're not asking for what it is we actually want. Or the other thing is we don't have clarity. We don't know what it is we want. That's why this way of setting goals is so important. Again, actonthis.tv/goals. Go and get a copy of this. It's free. And just because it's free, it doesn't mean you just disrespect it and think, oh, it's a piece of shit. It's free. I could charge for this. This information genuinely changed my life in 2014. I just want you to have it because it will really make you look at your life and your career in a different way, but act on it. Again, it's called Act on This. You should act on this information within this. Don't just download it passively and think, oh, it was free, I don't need to use it. Use it, but it'll help you get that clarity. Clarity is the first building block of any kind of success, because if you don't know what you want, how can you go and get it? And I don't mean you just want more acting work. That's a really general goal with no clarity whatsoever. It's just it's clear as mud. I want more acting work. Well, what does that mean? Do you want to go and do TIE? Do you want to go and is that enough for you? Go and do one tour of a school? Brilliant, there you go. Or do you want to work on TV? Do you want to do some big acting jobs? Do you want to work on the West End stage? Do you want to book a musical? Do you want to do a short film? Do you want to do a feature film? Do you want to work in the States? Do you want to work on a soap? Do you want a regular on a soap? Or do you just want a couple of lines when you're starting off? Get really clear. You can't go after something if you can't see it. And also figure out what your push goal is. Again, that's in that workbook. Your push goal is like a domino effect. It's the one goal that if you could complete that first will make the rest easier. So figure out what your push goal is. As well, because there's that old Chinese proverb, innit? The man who chases 2 rabbits catches neither. Sometimes you've got to go for one initially, and then the others will follow. Definitely. Jenna's got more acting classes coming up in January. Awesome, good stuff. John listened to the podcast with Melissa Johns. Apart from being an amazing interview, useful advice like how Peter talks about the industry. Honestly, Melissa Johns, she's faced quite a lot of adversity. She's only got one arm. And he's just about to star in, which is filmed it stars in Mike Bartlett's upcoming BBC One drama called Life. She talks about how she's dealt with that adversity in her life, how she hid, as I did, I hid my eye condition for years. And it wasn't until she started really embracing who she is. And Peter said at the end of that vlog you just watched, guys, let's be honest about the product that we're selling. Stop trying to be something you're not. Or try, this whole fake it till you make it bullshit that people have peddled in life. It's the worst advice I've ever heard in my life. You don't need to fake anything till you make it in this industry. People can see through that. Anyone who's got an ounce of intelligence can see when you're being fake and conceited and sycophantic and just sucking up to casting directors or directors and producers, being overbearing, being too keen, not being yourself. Just be yourself. It's enough. Really embrace that in 2020, without a doubt. Ollie says it meditates daily, and to a degree you're right, but then I'm refreshed and right back on it as soon as I'm done. I'm talking of days of downtime. I've done it when meditating. Days of down, honestly, Ollie, the easiest way of having days of downtime is when you feel you deserve it. That's my take on it anyway. I am more than happy to call it a day for 4 or 5 days after tomorrow, because I'm like, I've just hustled my ass off all year, just having some time off. And I'm the worst for not having time off or just berating myself if I spend 20 minutes not doing something productive. Just use tomorrow morning wisely till tomorrow afternoon, and you'll feel you can have Christmas Day off. Because even with the best intentions, there ain't anything anyone can do in their acting career tomorrow. I really don't believe that. I don't think there's a single casting director or agent working tomorrow in the industry anywhere. So you can chill. And I also love that idea as well, where I'm like, you know what? Everyone else is chilling out. Sometimes it's hard for me to relax when I know other people are working. I love it when I know everyone else is off. And then I might put a little bit of work in for a couple of hours because I like to get ahead a little bit. I can work when other people aren't. But when everyone else is chilling out, mate, you deserve it as well. So just enjoy yourself, definitely. James says, any sneak peeks as to who you will be getting on for podcasts for next year? Yeah, loads, James. So, actually, you know what? These are a bit different. So first up in the new year in January, again, this is for members of actonthis.tv. You've got to be a member to be involved with this. If you've not got a membership, go and join. But we're going to start finally the online coaching calls with two big casting directors as well, really big casting directors. They're going to be coming on individually, one at the start of January, one at the end of January. And you'll all be able to join. So we do it on Zoom, a thing called Zoom. It's a bit like a group Skype kind of chat. So there will be me, you'll see me and the casting director, and then we will be able to bring you guys on your camera, on your phone or your iPad or your laptop or whatever, with your microphone, and you'll be able to talk one-to-one with the casting director. Two casting directors in January. We've got Daniel Edwards, who casts Line of Duty, other massive shows. He just did Responsible Child, which was on the other day. That horrific true story, but was fascinating. He's cast The Cure recently, but I mean, Line of Duty is the big one. It's just either at the end of now. I think they might be just coming to the end of Line of Duty 6 casting. That'll start shooting next year. He's going to be the first one. And then Dan Hubbard, who, God, I mean, the Hubbard family are just one of the most prolific casting families in the world. Cast some of the biggest film and TV out there. So there's Dan, there's Amy, their mum and dad, John and Roz. Very, very famous casting family. Dan DM'd me on Twitter to say that we would definitely do a live broadcast in January. He said message him the first week of January. So those two are coming up. Other guests who are coming on the podcast, we've got people like, who have we got? Let's have a look. I've got a list. Sean Dooley's definitely one. He's definitely coming on for a broadcast, and he's brilliant. He just did a song for Children in Need with a Taylor Swift cover, and Taylor Swift surprised him during the recording, which was quite cool. Who else is on my hit list, if I can bring this up? Oh, do you know what? I think I've moved it off Workflowy to something else. Yeah, I've got Daniel on there. I'm not entirely sure if we'll get everyone in January who was on the list. I'll have to seek it out, but definitely Daniel Edwards and Dan Hubbard, and hopefully Sean Dooley in January. That'll be 3 people. But there's loads of people. Oh, Russell T Davis, the writer. When his new drama Boys comes out, I want to do a round table with the lead from that, with Russell and another actor from that show as well. That would be amazing. The writer Danny Brocklehurst. Hopefully we'll be coming on with Joe Gilgan. Shitloads of people, man, and all quality people as well, who are doing incredible stuff, but are just lovely, bloody nice people. Who have got a lot to give and a lot of advice to give out, and are just, also thoroughly entertaining as well. Joe's hilarious, so hopefully he'll come on and that'll be great. What else is happening here? James says he was filming back on a CBBC show earlier this year that he was on years ago. And he's just been doing Polar Express. I've seen loads of people posting pictures of the Polar Express. It was like an experience thing that you could go on. I'm sure Sharon did the Polar Express thing. She was serving some kind of like hot chocolate in character or something on the Polar Express. Samantha says, when watching the podcast, I literally have to sit down with pen, paper and brainstorm completely. Pages and pages of notes. Thanks, Ross. I just need to get this show reel sorted and I'll be flying. Yeah, I mean, that's awesome, Sam. Yeah, you should definitely take notes, though. I mean, if you remember, you can, obviously you can watch those features again and again and again and again and again. You can watch the video when you're at home, or if you want to listen to the audio when you're out. That's an option as well. But yeah, show reels and stuff. Chris Stone, I've shot another scene with him this year. He's still incredible for show reels. Definitely. Claire says you've had a cracking last few months. We've had some good guests on this year's been good, hasn't it? Lauren's in the house. All right, Lauren, hope you're well. Kev's here from Ireland. Sorry, missed you last. He says, was putting on a Christmas Carol. Yeah, Kev's been doing a Christmas Carol for the homeless. Awesome, mate. That's really, really good. I got your email about it. Yeah, I love the Christmas Carol. Absolutely love it. Went to see it with school years ago, and it was just so magical. I just try and go and see it somewhere every year when I can. He says, going to be really kick it in 2020. Yes, you are, Kev. Definitely. Angie is here. All right, Angie, hope you are well. And Inez says 2020, perfect vision, and that's where we're going. If only I had 2020 vision, Inez. That would be amazing. Unfortunately, it's quite far off that, but we'll just keep being optimistic that there'll be a cure at some point. Social media deep dive was great. Yeah, we did that, didn't we? So we tested an in-person event this year. First acts on this event that I've ever thrown, called the Social Media Deep Dive, where we took people through a real intensive sort of training on how to use Instagram, Twitter and Facebook to promote their acting career, and not in the usual shit ways actors do it by posting their headshot and posting their show reel in a group of actors on Facebook. I mean, that's absolutely pointless. An actor's posting six of their headshot. Which one do you think's the best? oh, it's so dull, it's so boring. Just like, you should choose. You shouldn't have random strangers choosing what your headshot should be for your career. It's your career. We don't know you. We can see you in a still shot, but I can look mean as hell in a still shot if I wanted, but actually I can't really play mean as hell, because that's just not my character type. They're going to get someone who's probably can do that better than me. So it's one thing to look at it in a picture. It's completely different to actually play it as an actor. So posting your headshots in a random group of people who don't know you, that's pointless. Same as Peter said in that interview, if you're posting your show reel, like, oh, I'm not sure about this scene, that means you shouldn't have it in your show reel. If you're not comfortable with it, don't wait for a stranger to give you permission to take it out. Get some, some confidence in yourself and your own judgment. If it's not sitting right in your gut, that it's not right for you, why are you asking strangers who don't know you or care about your career whether you should have it in your reel or not? So we took people through this social media deep dive where we're basically showing people what you should do if you want to build a brand online, and it was pretty good, Claire. It was kind of you guys were a bit of like the test group. We did a lot of online kind of group coaching calls as well after that. It definitely wasn't perfect. We tried to give as much as we possibly could in that, and it was amazing to see all you guys embrace it, but we will probably run that again next year. We'll try and refine it. So yeah, that would be a good thing to see people on. But I've seen, people like Claire, everyone who's Kev who's on it tonight, everyone who came on that course with us, like proper committing to their social media game. It's been amazing seeing people just, be way more prolific, putting posts out on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and in a more showing more ingenuity, not just, like I say, posting the headshot. The headshot, as Ollie, the guy who coached this program with me, said, is like the equivalent of everyone posting a picture of their kid back to school on September the 5th on the front doorstep. Oh, can't believe how fast they're growing up. Look, right, it's your kid. We know you love them, but when everyone else is just posting it just gets boring. And the acting industry is just like that, where it's just like, headshot, 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 headshot. Please look at my reel. Tell me what I should take out. How about you just have some faith in yourself? So be self-assured in 2020. That's something people should definitely aim for. I've just had 78 comments come in, and I can't read them all because we've got to go in a minute. Let's have a look. Elliot Sit. All right, Elliot. Elliot featured in that podcast. It was a good call, that, Elliot. Thank you very much for taking part in that, mate. In the podcast with Peter, which is good. Ollie says, good advice on tying up loose ends. Yeah, everyone, I think, honestly, if you do struggle to take time off and and have downtime, like I say, tomorrow or even after this now, just tie up all your loose ends so you can go into Christmas Eve, particularly like Eve, so 7 o'clock tomorrow night. And you can, all the little shitty things have been done. Your accounts have been done if you've got that to do. The replies on social media or email have been done if you've got those to do. You've done the washing. You've done, you've tidied your apartment, whatever it is. These are all things I'm going to do tomorrow. So you can just go, oh, you know what? I'm going to sit and I'm going to be present. Literally, I'm just going to live right now. I'm not going to worry about tomorrow and the turkey. I'm not going to regret what I didn't do yesterday or what I did yesterday. I'm actually going to be present and I'm going to spend time with my family. I'm going to go out with mum's tomorrow night, sit with her for a bit and just enjoy people. Honestly, nothing else really matters, guys. Honest to God. Like I say, there was people who should have been at that school reunion yesterday who aren't alive anymore. And that just puts it all into perspective. You're like, what are you worried about? Not got a part on telly. Who gives a shit? You've got people in your life you care about. It's way more important, particularly at this time of year. Do another social media deep dive, says Carly. I'd love to come. We will do it, Carly. Definitely, we'll without a doubt do that in 2020 for sure. Gary says really enjoyed the live event. Nice one, Gaz. Hope that is good. Listen, guys, I'm going to play a little video out for you now. You're going to see it first. I'm actually sending this video out tomorrow to the email list, so you'll probably get this again tomorrow morning sometime, but I created a little video, me and Petch, just a little recap on what we've done this year. It's only 2 minutes long, just for Twitter, but again, it ultimately it shows you kind of what you can achieve in a year. When if I look back, I might have forgot some of these things, but some of the stats here in terms of the number of emails I sent out last year really surprised me. I sent cumulatively, in terms of the number of single emails that went out to the email list, over 250,000 emails in the last year 250,000 emails. So I appreciate every one of you who has received any of those emails and has joined me for these live broadcasts and has been a part of the community, has got their membership on actsonthis.tv, has tweeted me, has replied, has left the Facebook comment, has downloaded the ebook. Again, actsonthis.tv/goals for that. Go and get it. I can't thank you enough. Honestly, it's been Acts on This. This has been the most successful year for actsonthis.tv ever. The membership has grown bigger than it's ever been this year, without a doubt. It was really interesting because it sort of like had stagnated for 8 years, and this year something happened, and I don't know exactly what that was, but we hit a tipping point where we were making enough noise with the members that we had. That really we had a massive influx. We basically tripled the membership between July and now. So what took us, pretty much 8 years to do, we did again and then again in probably about 20 weeks or something like that. So it's been amazing. It's been like a really good year. I think we can do even better next year. I want you guys to have your best years next year. I think if we all help each other, we'll be able to achieve that. You can drop me an email anytime, ross@actsonthis.tv. You can always tweet me. I try and answer every single message I get on Twitter, every single message on Instagram. I'll be putting out more vlogs next year. We'll have more guests on next year. We're going to do live coaching calls for Acts on This members next year as well. Like I said, Daniel Edwards and Dan Hubbard will be the first two who do those. Just got loads of stuff coming. And I don't know exactly when this is going to happen, I want to disrupt the shit out of the rip-off workshop culture that is within the acting industry. My blood boils when I see bullshit con artists masquerading as casting directors asking for £100 for some bullshit, in inverted commas, intensive, where there's 20 actors in the group. How can anything be intensive when there's 20 people there? You're going to get like 5-6 minutes individual time. It's a rip-off. So I'm going to do way better workshops. I won't be able to do loads of them, but I've already agreed this with some of the biggest casting directors who also hate this. And these are casting directors who don't do workshops because they think they're bullshit anyway. We're going to do some workshops. We're going to do them better than everybody else. I'm going to do them with smaller numbers of actors. We're going to charge you a tenner, not £100, and we're going to give that tenner to charity. I just want to put the shitbags out of business by being better, doing it better, and doing it cheaper, because they're just robbing people. That's pissed me off about 2019. So we're going to make that better in 2020. Again, that'll be available to actsonthis.tv members. So another reason for you to be in the community. So listen, I can't see any comments right now. I've just had to come to a different screen. But unless I can actually, oh yes, I can. Yes, I can. Just quickly, if there was anything that was left. All right, Fanny's just jumped on for the last couple of seconds. Merry bloody Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas, Fanny. Everyone's saying, hope everyone has a really lovely Christmas, even better New Year. Bobby's just joined. All right, Bobby. Linda's just joined us. Linda's somewhere else in the world doing a one-woman show somewhere. But Linda, good evening. Great to see you. You just jumped on at the very end. But yeah, honestly, thank you all so much for being here. It means the world you've had anything to do with this community this year. It still blows my mind that every night on a Monday night, roughly, 13 to 1,600 actors come through these broadcasts on a Monday night. It's incredible. Thank you so much. I've got a little video for you now just to say thank you, and I'll see you all in 2020. The next broadcast will probably be January the 6th, Monday, January the 6th. If I can do anything for you in the meantime, please reach out. I will check emails sporadically over the holidays. But yeah, for everybody, including myself, let's just switch off and enjoy ourselves. Switch off. Maybe overindulge a little bit, take some time to recover, get clear on what we want from 2020, set your goals properly, spend at least a day over the holidays doing that, and let's come back in 2020 stronger and ready to have our best years ever, better than ever before. All right, thank you so much. Until next time, until next decade, bye for now.
Hey everybody, it's Ross from Acts on This here with a super quick but a massive thank you to every single person watching this who has been in any way a part of the Acts on This community over the last 12 months. Although actsonthis.tv has been around for almost 10 years now, 2019 has been the year where I feel it's well and truly been put on the map as an indispensable resource for actors. Membership to the website tripled in size this year. We put out another 54 hours of top quality industry podcasts with the biggest casting directors, actors and agents in the business. I went live for a further 50 hours inside the Acts on This Facebook group. You guys saw another 20 episodes of Watch Ross. We launched a private forum over on the site, grew the Facebook group to 9,000 members, answered more than 2,000 of your tweets, and I sent out over 250,000 emails. Not bad for 12 months, really, that is it, Petch?
Not too bad.
Not too bad, but can we do better in 2020? Of course we can. We are entering a brand new decade, and I'm determined to make it a big one for everyone involved with this community. I'll be bringing you even more incredible podcast guests next year. We'll be running online coaching calls with the biggest casting directors in TV, where you'll actually get to speak to them face to face from your own home. I've got game-changing in-person events planned too, and I assure you, if you act on the content we'll be putting out, you will work more as an actor than you ever have before. Honestly, thank you so much for the support this year. It really means the world. I couldn't grow Act on This without any of you guys, and I would love it if you carried on with your involvement and helped to spread the word too. Have an incredible Christmas and New Year, and let's make this brand new decade our best decade ever. Until then, Petch, you know what time it is. It is time to crack open the Christmas Pringles. Until next year, bye for now. Oh, oh God. I've not had these in ages. You want one, Pep?
Yeah.
I think they're vegan.
Better be.
Eat them. Oh, they're not vegan. No, they are vegan. Joking, they are definitely vegan.